Prada slightly left there. Normally the windward boat is slightly late because you can imagine the start line goes to the middle of the committee boat. So if you're coming around the right-hand end, the starboard end, you have to go around the committee boat and its chain. So you're about half a boat length late. Plenty of time here, and Prada will be able to dial up. Stand by, dial up. Hard left turn there by Team New Zealand, trying to slow. Prada actually going through the wind. Well, watch Team New Zealand trying to get under them. Watch it.
So this is a quick move by New Zealand as they're trying to get their bow down. How quickly? Let's see how quickly Team New Zealand can maneuver. Let's have a look at the Italians, how quickly they can maneuver. If the New Zealanders can get under, they're going to start getting control. Have they got the overlap? Have they got the hook?
Very good move by Team New Zealand. They did a handbrake slide in, stop. Prada went off them trying to get position, open the door. Team New Zealand got their bow down and got out of jail. Now they've got good control here. I don't think Prada can jibe, although they've got good speed. Now you can see why being on an opponent's transom gives you the advantage. If Prada go to turn towards the wind and luff up, Team New Zealand can go inside. If they go to bear away, Team New Zealand can follow them. Team New Zealand in control, just like in an aerial dogfight.
So that was a decisive move in the start sequence. So Torben Grail has said he's going to take them into the spectators' fleet to shake them off. So now he's pulled out of that. We heard that translation, he was going to do it.
Team New Zealand are watching that.
Okay.
Got the wind in the left phase here, 183 on a wind line of 195. Give the port end bias. Didn't actually get a sight, unfortunately, of the line. We're not allowed up there.
Normal tack, Robbie.
Normal tack. Team New Zealand going underneath here. Good control for Team New Zealand. Committal time, 2 minutes. Prada going under them. Prada trying to get down under them. I don't know if they'll make it. They didn't make it. Team New Zealand full control. This could be very close. Watch the umpire flash.
Prada to the left. How quickly can Team New Zealand turn to come back at them?
Vital time here. Inside 2 minutes. Full committal. Prada getting their jibe in. Team New Zealand underneath. Pretty well committed now. Prada to windward, Team New Zealand to leeward. Time and distance the line. Outside the starboard lay.
I wonder if Team New Zealand want the left as well, Chris. Anyway, it is Team New Zealand to leeward.
They want to start tight under Prada's lee bow, full chat at the line.
Team New Zealand are leading back in, are they?
Good position, Team New Zealand. About 30 from it, 10 to kill. Stand
So
by.
it's a question of killing time here. Certainly Russell Cooch has got in a controlling position into the final 30 seconds.
I think he's got it smack on. He'll put his foot right on the floor now. Revs in the red zone, rattle through the gears.
Winding up for the start, race 2, America's Cup 2000, and Team New Zealand are in a magnificent position. They're in the controlling position, in the windward position out to the left. It is Prada out to the right, and the New Zealanders are right over the top of Prada as they're powering on up to the start, coming down to the final seconds, and it is Team New Zealand that have won the start brilliantly right on the start, and immediately the Italians tag before they've got across the start line, and the New Zealanders in the windward position right over the top of them. It's a low-speed tack by Prada to try and get out of it, and immediately Team New Zealand from the start in race 2. The black boat is right in the face of Luna Rossa. A brilliant start by gunslinger Russell Coates.
Great stuff. Team New Zealand got a real stranglehold on this race right from the start. Time and distance hit it smack on, full chat.
A vital move, 3.5 minutes back for the New Zealanders to be able to dial under and get there.
They had full control the whole way through. From getting out of jail, they were port boat, being dialed up. Prada tacked away, opened the door. We've seen that before. Team New Zealand ready for it. Trimmers with them, got the bow under. From then on, game over.
That really was something, because the New Zealanders came in from the port in. It was Luna Rossa that had the starboard head advantage. So immediately the Italians are wriggling.
Down speed tack, Prada will lose. Team New Zealand will get to hull speed before they come back. Prada tack there onto port. Team New Zealand on their face. Prada tacking away down speed will have lost. Team New Zealand building speed now have the option to go back, having made a good gain, and they've got control of the right. Wind's in the left-hand phase. I've got 175 here, 11 knots. Team New Zealand will come back. Yeah, they're coming back now. They want to keep a stranglehold on this. Great start.
Team New Zealand in the windward position.
Coming up.
Well, there's Prada on the left with the yellow trail, and they've actually closed the game up on Team New Zealand. And if we look here, we can see why. We lay the wind on, and look how far left it's gone there. That's favouring Prada. That's Prada there. Now look at the distance here between the two boats. Prada has been able to lift off them there, and the reason that's happened is as the wind's gone left, it's gone in their favour. At the moment, it's still an advantage to Team New Zealand, though. And as we come down again, it's still around about a boat length to Team New Zealand. If we lay on the advantage line there, in fact, it's half a boat length. Team New Zealand's just got to hang tough here, wait for the breeze to shift back into the right a little bit, pick the moment, and they'll come back and they'll still have starboard tack advantage.
Well, that was an excellent start by Russell Coates and his team. They came in from the disadvantaged port side, did that nice hairpin turn, stopped, let Prada sail on by, ducked underneath them, gained control, and this is what it's ended up with a 2 or 3 boat length lead up the race course. Quite outstanding, I must say. I was very impressed with that.
Translation coming off Prada. They're concerned that they might have something on their keel. Maybe a plastic bag, maybe seaweed. This will be hindering the performance of Prada. There'll be a flurry of activity on board. They have an endoscope system on board there. We can see someone would have gone down below looking down an endoscope, which is like a medical instrument that we use to have a look inside our bodies. We're going to have a look down there. There's blood. Someone's been hit. There's injury on board Prada. Head injury. Someone has been injured. Wow, this is always a factor. I hope this guy's okay. Getting hit, gear damage, or getting crew damage. There's a lot of blood there. You can see there the red stain all down the top sides. Looks nasty.
It's Matt Serena on board Prada. He's had a crack to the head, and while he's out of action, it also means that a couple of others take time out to give him assistance. So what we're hearing on board Prada is that the injury is not concerning them too much. There is a bag on the keel, And Torben Grail is saying, I want someone to go over and get it. And there they are working at it now.
What I find really amazing here is that we've seen this before with Prada, their weed clearing device, or to get, in terms of today, a plastic bag off the keel. They are using this device, which is basically a long pole with a hunk of rope on the end that can flush off the keel. In San Diego, we actually had small knives that ran up the leading edges of keel and rudder to get rid of the seaweed. This looks messy.
This is a problem with these floss sticks. You often get them caught around the leading edge of the keel like that, because that big long piece of rope you can see on the end of it wraps right around the keel and you can't bring it out. You saw them struggling with it. By the looks of things, they've obviously cleared it now, because they must have a window in the hull or an endoscope to look down at the leading edge of the keel, and the bag must have come off. But tough times for Prada as they deal with this injury. It's difficult for them to keep the concentration up, but Torben, and you can see here, is explaining to the crew, come on, we've got to keep working on it here. As Team New Zealand steps out and takes advantage of these problems that Prada's having. This is a real problem for them at this stage.
Well, we did hear from the boat, if they can't clear the bag, we're going to stop and get someone to dive in and clear it. This is quite sensational here, Gilly.
Well, this is a tough call. I mean, you know, this is the only way that you can clear it, and they're going to stop and they're going to have to throw somebody overboard. But we've done this many times. You cannot get down to the keel because the force of the water is so great until the boat is basically going backwards. So this man is going to really struggle for the time being to get down there, and you can see he's already behind the position of the keel at the moment. And he's pulling himself forward, and then he'll dive down, but the boat's probably still doing about 2 knots going forward.
Okay, we now have Luca Bontempelli, who's doing translations for us. And Luca, who's this man here? What's he doing, and what's the feeling on board Prada now that you've heard?
Yeah, this is Piero Romeo, the mainsail trimmer. He's trying to slow down the boat to get the bag. They have a big bag.
Well, you can see the yacht has almost stopped now. And it's really in a position whereby they can now dive down and get it. The Genoa just set there, so that's going to pull the yacht away from him, so it's going to be even harder for this guy to dive down. And he's saying, I can't do it, I can't get there. And they're seriously going to have big problems here. I mean, this is very frustrating for Prada at this stage.
Quite difficult to get the boat in a position that he can dive down. He's just struggling, and of course this is just energy sapping stuff, and in fact coming back on board.
It's been a catastrophic day for Prada so far in leg 1. Head injury to one of the crewmen, bag on the keel, a man overboard to try and free it. Meanwhile, Prada is stopped and Team New Zealand is racing away.
Well, let's take a look at a replay of the start, and there's Team New Zealand well clear. Beautiful control over the start. There they go, Prada attacking backwards and forwards, trying to escape from Team New Zealand's wind shadow there. And as we speed it up and they race up the course here, we can see that's Team New Zealand with the blue trail just covering nicely, staying between the opposition and the mark. There we saw at one stage Prada was starting to get a bit of left-hand pressure, and it looked like they were getting back into the game. But there they go, they tack back, and that's where they had their problem with the weed and everything around. And look at them there, that was them stopping right in that little blip there we see in the yellow trail. All the while they had to stop, get rid of the crew member. Team New Zealand just plainly sailing away there. That's them with the blue trail, remember. Huge lead of around 550 metres as they head up towards mark number 1. Very, very comfortable sailing. And as we heard earlier, the fact that Prada has had problems really hasn't been the story of this race. Team New Zealand did a fantastic job of taking control right in the early stages. And now we can see them as they head up to mark number 1. Prada a long way behind.
Meanwhile, sailing on, oblivious to the problems and difficulties that the Prada Challenge have encountered. Team New Zealand, remorseless. Okay. Dominating. And Torben Grail being translated off the boat would say, let's sail our own race.
No problem with him.
America's Cup 2000, race 2, Mark 1. Team New Zealand leading. After a brilliant start by Russell Coots to reinforce, he's one of the great gunslingers in match racing and world yachting. Team New Zealand dominating, the Italians closing the game a little, but then the breeze going back, and Team New Zealand with a comfortable lead. So the navigator is going to take over Max Serena's job. That's Matteo Plazzi is moving up onto the bow as well to take over Max Serena's job. Now they've got to watch out. They could almost hit the mark. Goodness. That is not a good hoist.
Did they hit that?
The Prada crew is rattled, Chris. That's not a good hoist. Chris, if I can also add that we'll take back what we were told initially, because we are scrambling to get information regarding a ring from the Clue. We are now told by Bruno Troublé, who heads the Louis Vuitton Media Centre, the information he has got is that that carbon fibre rod that you've just been talking about, as they were trying to use it to get rid of whatever was interfering on the appendages, came back and smashed into Max Serena's head. And that is where he got the nasty gash and how he got it. So it was not a ring from the Clue, but instead we understand it was in fact Max Serena copping one from the carbon fibre rod, which is just terrible.
The other right. The port side of the rig. Coming down the port side of the rig.
Well, whatever it was a pretty nasty gash. See that amount of blood coming over the weather side like that? Pretty scary. For the whole team and his family. I don't know if he's got wife or girlfriend down here.
We've just heard from Alessandra as well to confirm that that is correct. Thanks, Alessandra. We really appreciate the help. The Prada media PR people have just been absolutely outstanding, and particularly when we need help like now, fast. Paolo and Alessandra have been great, and Bruno Troublé just outstanding. So that's just awful to cop that bad wound.
Well, Prada's done a nice job down this leg. It's been a gain of around 6 boat lengths to them. And as we look here, it's down to under 500 metres now. And if we lay on the wind now, just look how much that wind has shifted to the left. Early in the race, the wind was coming straight down the screen there, so we can see that it's moved about that much there. So it's about a 20-degree wind shift, it almost looks like, around to the left. But at the moment there, they're coming into this mark. That wind shift has favoured Prada. They've been able to soak down towards the mark. When we say soak, that's rotate the bow down towards the mark. And all the time they're closing in on Team New Zealand here. So I'm quite sure while Team New Zealand have a big lead, they'll be looking over their shoulder and realise that they have in fact lost probably at least 30 seconds of what they had around Mark 1.
Yeah, they're free flying that sail coming into that mark. They've jibed without the pole and now they're going back on the ley line.
Mark 2, Team New Zealand around.
All the way, boys. All the way. Hold. Jump. Hold.
So PG, I think there's a bit of a gain here.
Yes, in spite of all their difficulties.
2:19 at the top, so we're coming round. I make it, they're just putting their bow at the mark now, so what's that, 20 odd seconds.
Mark 2, race 2, America's Cup 2000. And the Prada Challenge of Italy trailed Team New Zealand by 1 minute 55, 4 legs to go. It has just been a terrible day for Francesco De Angelis and his team out on the water on the Hauraki Gulf.
Still toiling away, the team on Team New Zealand, fully focused. Just tailing out the topmast backstays there to get rid of windage. This has been one of the innovations that we've seen on NZL 60. Pulling down those topmast backstays to reduce windage, to increase the performance of the boat. Gee, that mainsail looks pretty nice to me, Peter.
It does. I mean, they certainly have got that powered up, and I can't believe how firmly it's trimmed. And you'll see as we go down the mainsail here, looking at the spreaders, and as we come down, this fourth spreader here is where it's quite interesting. They have a little piece on it that they can push out and shape the Genoa, and they've done a very nice job of these little technical improvements. And I know this crew will be very, very pleased with how things are progressing so far.
Well, there's Team New Zealand in the foreground. They're forging their way towards mark number 3. They've gained around 3 to 4 boat lengths over Prada since the mark. And as we come up now and we take a look at whereabouts they are on the Hauraki Gulf today, we can actually see there's the top mark, mark number 3 that they're going to. Here's Rangitoto Island over here. And meanwhile, there's the East Coast Bays. So we can see that they're actually quite close to the East Coast Bays there. They're not that far away, which means that if we lay the wind on here and look at the wind direction, that as they get up into this top part of the course around here, the wind starts to get a little bit shifty, a bit puffy, moves around the place, because as the wind comes down over the East Coast Bays, it does start to get a little disturbed. Today they're racing a lot closer into shore than they have in the past, which makes it a little bit of a challenge for the tacticians. At the moment though, Team New Zealand doing a lovely job. It's out to 515 odd metres. That's a 4 to 5 boat length gain over Prada up this third leg.
And watch the next tag. This is not just about Andrew Taylor and Craig Monk, the famous grinders from 95. It's also about Barry Mackay, Jeremy Scanterbury, about Tony Ray. Big, strong, hulking men. They're just so ruthless, so efficient. Done.
See the clue? Clear the shroud base in one.
And the way they're able to get the sails in so quickly as well, Chris.
Hold the halyard, hold it! Hold the halyard! Okay.
Hold the halyard means just don't sneak it anymore. They don't want to risk it.
It's Matthew Mason, the big carry tree on the mast, trying to sneak the halyard a bit, but he was chided a little bit by Russell Coots and or held back a little bit. Now this is Matthew Mason.
Okay, first time we're going to see a spinnaker in the cup.
Flow, 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 flow.
Now that is the voice of Simon Daubney. Flow, flow, flow.
Is that his girlfriend?
It looks like a game to me. They were what? So up on the foredeck now, we've got Piotr Romero, who is helping Paolo Bassani and Simon Damari. 149, it is a gain to Prada on leg number 3. They trailed by 2:19, then 1:55. Now here halfway through the race, 1 minute 49 astern of Team New Zealand.
They're not slow, are they?
Spirits lifted on board Prada now after that dreadful first leg. But do remember that they've lost their bowman, Max Serena, so they're one man short on board, which Peter Gilmore obviously means others are having to do a bit more work.
That's right. It really is not as bad as a rugby team being one man down, for instance, but you know, you have everybody has somebody to back up, and Max would have been working there on the foredeck, and you can see the boys are still getting the Genoa nicely packed. They managed to hoist the spinnaker well, and they're still in control. And just a moment ago, I saw Francesco looking around, looking for wind, because he knows the only chance they have on this downwind leg, as he looks back again once more, is to pick up a puff of breeze and bring that down onto Team New Zealand. And they're going to be working hard here to try and increase their speed to get down closer right onto Team New Zealand's air.
Prada have gained on every leg so far after being 2 minutes and 19 seconds behind around the first mark. Prada eating into that lead, but time's running out.
Back onto the animation with Prada to the left, down on that leeward ley line. Team New Zealand extending out. The call came from Tom Schnackenberg to Russell Coutts. It was around 2.5 minutes to that ley line there that Glenn's drawing in for us so kindly.
Now it'll be fascinating to watch how far the New Zealanders taken this spinnaker. Watch for that and watch the drop. Watch how efficient they are. Phipps to the right, Allen in the middle.
Yeah, they pull the middle of the sail.
Looks like Tony Ray is up there as well. And then Max Manson is behind them. They're pulling the middle of the sail out of the water. That's Barry Mackay right in the middle of the picture. Andrew Taylor grinding behind them. Go trim all the way. It's the voice of Simon Daubney. What a lovely drop. Power on, sails on. Smooth, professional, calm, and ruthless. Look at the Italians drop as they round at 1:59 astern. So, after mark number 4, Team New Zealand have made a gain on that second upwind leg. Chris.
Yes, as a characteristic, we've all been saying that Prada sail deep. In other words, they try and cut the corner and sail squarer towards the bottom mark. Now, what that means is, yes, you sail a shorter distance, but the boat is going correspondingly slower. And what we've been saying, Team New Zealand sail what we call a hotter angle, i.e. they're closer to the wind, but they go faster. And if you remember yesterday, it wasn't yesterday, on the first race, we had a great shot of them coming into the bottom mark. Prada again were too deep. Now what that means is you approach the bottom mark too slow. And you can see what Prada have done there. They've had to, yeah, that's a great angle to show it. You can see the normal angle they were sailing, and that's exactly right. That's exactly what I've tried to explain. So they end up running too deep, too square, too light, too slow, and all not very good really. All right, that's the leech line they're playing with. I don't think that's a fault. So you can see there's the clue ring they were talking about earlier that we thought caused the injury.
Well, that was the early translation we had off the boat, but that proved to be wrong.
Now you see that leech line there, Pajir? They're putting that leech line away, and then it's covered in a pocket of Velcro here, just to keep it out of the way.
Well, that problem that Prada had down earlier on this leg, look at that huge big long drag race out here that they had heading out towards the right hand side of the course here, and of course that's Prada with the yellow trail here. They were forced to just sail along in Team New Zealand's bad air. They could not tack with that jib problem, and now as they head in towards that top mark number 5 for the turn for home, Prada, all they can do is follow along behind. They've lost around 50 metres or so since the bottom mark. So Team New Zealand very plain sailing at the moment, just staying between Prada and the next mark. Prada being very limited with what they could do with that problem with their Genoa car. At the moment, very plain sailing for Team New Zealand.
That's Matthew Mason jumping up high, back up. Now, here comes the hoist from Mason. Look at him blasting it out. Man, such a powerful man. It's Phipps and Allen on the foredeck. Waiting now, go now. That's Simon Daubney. Simon really gingers up the crew, doesn't he?
Yeah, orchestrates it.
Now listen to him, go Battler. Simon is just, Simon Daubney. Boy, oh boy, you wouldn't want to cross him. He just gives it to the lot of them. After losing Max Serena, it's Piero Romeo, who's up there with Paolo Bassani and Simon DeMar. Here they go, round the mark. At 2:26 behind, they've lost 27 seconds on that beat to windward into the last leg of the race. The final spinnaker set coming up for Prada, and the Italians, in a nightmare day, trail Team New Zealand.
Things have gone very quiet on board Prada. Really, they've found themselves, Peter, in an impossible position today with, you know, that horrific injury, and then coupled with that, the problem getting weed or a plastic bag around their keel.
That's right. I mean, it just goes to show you that circumstances conspire on you. You get a bad start and then a few downspeed tacks and you get behind, and suddenly a bag on the keel, and in that flurry of activity of trying to get the bag off, the injury happens, and boy oh boy, it goes downhill quickly. But as you say, they'll be back to fight another day, and it'll be interesting as things go on through this series. But I don't think, you know, over at the Royal New Zealand Yacht Squadron, I can imagine that the America's Cup, the bolts won't be loosening over there. Team New Zealand are well on their way to their second victory here, and they seem to be firmly in control at this stage. So let's wait and see what the future races bring.
It was a brilliant start by Team New Zealand. Skipper Russell Coots cleaning Prada out. And Team New Zealand capitalising on a start that was as good as it gets at match racing. And Team New Zealand was in the lead and well in control when Prada sailed into a nightmare. Max Serena copping a serious wound to his head and taken off the boat, blood everywhere. Prada fishing for something they suspected dragging on the keel, and then they had more problems. And it went from bad to worse. But for Team New Zealand, it's been all plain sailing, efficient, ruthless, outstanding and impressive. On the 22nd of the second 2000, Team New Zealand goes 2 up over the Prada Challenge from Italy. It can't get any worse, surely. Cleaned out at the start, trailing the New Zealanders, who were well and truly in control. And then Max Serena cops the carbon rod right on the head, terrible head wound, blood all over the starboard topsides. He's taken off, stitches by the Prada doctor. Then they go fishing for something dragging on the keel. Then they have problems with the Genoa track. It's been an all-black day for the Red Moon from Italy, who finished 2 minutes and 43 seconds behind NZL 60. It's Team New Zealand 2, the Prada Challenge 0.